Doubledays getting set to take on the Black Bears here at Falcon Park. Time of the first pitch at 6:30 here in Auburn. Now sitting down with Doubledays pitcher Ryan Tapani. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Try to avoid this big backdrop that's coming up on us. We got some wind here at Falcon Park today, but you've been pitching really well lately. Struggled a little bit at the start of the year, but ever since then you've just been mowing guys down. You go 3 perfect innings a couple of days ago. What's working for you so well right now?
Just making adjustments to be successful, whether it's throwing more off speed or getting ahead in counts. I know that's something I struggled with early, getting ahead and throwing strikes. So kind of trying to fix that and work on some things to be more successful.
Anything mechanical or more about the approach?
A little of both. I think if you worry about one or the other too much, you can kind of tie yourself in knots. So kind of just getting back to what you've had success with in the past and kind of pitching to your strengths.
Yeah. Now, you've been striking out a lot of guys as of late. I know you told me earlier this year that you don't consider yourself necessarily a strikeout guy. What's allowed you to strike out so many dudes?
Locating fastballs better. Never really pitched in a whole lot. Kind of been trying to a little bit more now, but just locating a fastball helps off-speed pitch be more effective. So,
does it have anything to do with the fact that you were a starter this year at Creighton in your senior season, and now you're a reliever?
Maybe. Tough to tell, but that could definitely have something to do with it.
Yeah. How does the approach change going from the bullpen to the starting rotation, then back to the bullpen? Because I know you were a reliever your junior year, then a starter your senior year, now back to the pen. How does that change?
Now I think I have a little bit of a better feel for it. When I first started in the pen, I was kind of all over the place of not knowing when I was going to throw. It was tough to prepare. And then starting, everything kind of went on my time, especially when we were at home. You can't start a game without the starting pitcher, so I got to go on my time and prepare that way. But kind of learning how to blend the two together has been something that I've been working on this summer.
Sitting here with Doubledays pitcher Ryan Tapani. Now, you started your college career at St. Olaf, which is a D3 school in Minnesota. Then you ended up at Creighton after 2 years. How'd you make the decision to choose Creighton after transferring?
St. Olaf just wasn't a very good fit. The baseball program ended up canceling their season one of my first years there, so I decided that I wanted to see if I could play baseball at the Division I level, and Creighton offered me a chance to walk on there, so I took it, and they gave me every opportunity I could have asked for.
Yeah. Now, your first year at Creighton, you actually had to sit out due to NCAA rules. What was that year like for you in 2016?
That was tough. I think it made me a lot stronger as a person because, you spend all fall, all winter training with these guys, and then the season comes around, which is what everyone looks forward to. And I was sitting in the left field stands watching, my friends play, my teammates play. So that was tough, but I think it made my 2 seasons at Creighton that much sweeter, because you don't really realize what you're missing out on until you actually miss out on it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Did you have some late-night bullpen sessions or just trying to stay fresh during the spring?
Yeah, a few guys would ask me to throw live bullpens to them if they had a tough weekend at the plate or something like that, and I absolutely loved it because it gave me the chance to compete a little bit and help them get better too, so that was fun.
Now, your senior year at Creighton, after being a walk-on, you're top 50 in the country in both wins and ERA. When you look back on your journey through college from D3 and then walking onto a D1 school, what are some of the moments that stand out to you?
There's so many of them. It sounds cliche, but most of the memories that I'll have from Creighton didn't actually happen on the field. It was all the stuff away from the field, of guys pushing each other, all the laughs in the locker room and on the plane trips, because we flew everywhere because we were kind of far away from everyone. But it was never like one specific moment. I think it's kind of a bunch of them, and a bunch of guys that they all kind of blend together with those memories.
Yeah. Sitting down with Doubledays pitcher Ryan Tapani now. Something I've noticed here during your time in Auburn is that you hit maybe the best fungo of any pitcher on the team. I know you said maybe Tanner Driscoll might be a little bit better, but how are you such a good fungo hitter as a pitcher?
Well, they try to get you to stay out of the way, so you pick up a bat and start swinging, and if they tell you to stay out of the way long enough, you get pretty good at it. So, I played two-way in high school and kind of have a feel for how to swing, but most of it was just hitting ground balls to guys all the way through college.
Now, Now, you're not a bad athlete, not just in baseball, but you actually were a pretty good hockey player in high school. Being in Minnesota, that makes a lot of sense. Did you ever think about maybe playing hockey instead of baseball, or was it always this?
It was always kind of baseball. I really enjoyed hockey, but just the size. If you look at a lot of NHL guys, they're monsters. Baseball's a sport that you can say what you want, but size doesn't really. I don't think it measures how good you can be in baseball. Where hockey, it's a little different because you got to have some size to you if you're gonna be able to compete in the NHL.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always kind of baseball. I've always loved baseball
Right.
from the time I could walk. So.
Yeah, and that makes sense considering who your dad is. Kevin Tapani, a big leaguer for 13 years, won the World Series in '91 with the Twins. Now, I'm sure you've gotten the question a million times how your dad helped you through your upbringing and all that. So we'll get a little more specific here. Jack Morris was actually just inducted into the Hall of Fame, big-time pitcher for that '91 Twins team. How cool was that for you and your dad seeing his former teammate get inducted?
It's pretty cool hearing stories about the guys that he's played with, and especially for a teammate of his to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'm sure that's something very, very special to all of Jack Morris's teammates. But yeah, I'm sure it was very cool. I was too young to remember when they were teammates, but yeah, I'm sure he's very proud of him and everything like that. So.
Do you think your dad ever is a little underrated? Because he actually had a better ERA than Jack Morris that year. Does he get enough shine, maybe?
He'll never say anything about it, but I don't know. Some might say so, but I mean, it's tough when you're talking about a Hall of Famer. It's a funny deal because stats don't play the full story of what goes on. So, and I mean, every baseball player will tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you were also a bat boy for the Cubs. Is that right?
I think for 1 or 2 games, maybe it was me and my brother. It might have been like family day. I got to do it or something like that. For the most part, I don't really remember a whole lot.
Yeah.
I was more interested in playing on the field than I was in watching. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one last question about your dad. I'm sure you're sick of talking about him, but he says that what sets you apart is your resiliency and your competitiveness. Where do those traits come from?
Kind of just, I think, playing with my little brother. He made me competitive, and then my sister was a phenomenal athlete as well. So everything we did, we were pretty competitive in, and then kind of just, in order to be good at anything you do, you have to be competitive and resilient because things don't always go your way, and you just have to learn how to roll with the punches. So.
All right, well, Ryan Tapani, things are going your way right now. You're pitching really well as of late. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you.